I'm a boss ass bitch, and I'm gonna get what I want. So those are definitely the things that I would say.
Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. So I am here today with Rachel Kayleen, and she's an entrepreneur in the Sacramento area, and she's also the creator of the podcast called the Millennial Wayve. We'll tell you a little bit more about that in just a moment, but I'm super stoked to have here on this channel today to share some tips with you guys and to share a little bit with you guys about her story and different tips and tricks that she's used to start to grow her business and what you guys can do to change your mindset and really just create the life that you want. So thank you for being on the show today. For anybody listening out there, can you just give us a little summary about who you are?
Yeah, so my name's Rachel. I'm 21 and I live out here in Sacramento. I've been involved in like the entrepreneurship space for about 2.5 years, which really isn't a long time if you think about it, because this is a very long journey, especially if you want to make it a long-term thing. But it started when I was 18 years old, and I was just at a place where I was going to school full-time, I was working a couple of jobs, I was playing a sport, and I was volunteering for a bunch of organizations. So I was very busy, I had a lot going on, and most people would think that that's great and that's awesome, but for some reason I just felt like I was meant for more. Like I knew something was missing, but I didn't know what it was. So that's when I started to explore different ways to make money online, to be able to get mentorship, to be able to grow my mindset, to be able to make more money. And the first thing I actually looked up, because most people, if you weren't born into maybe a family that knew about money management or knew how to build a business or loved what they did, if you came up in a home where they told you go to school, get a good job, retire, get married, all that good stuff, which there's nothing wrong with that, but if you're someone that has a different perspective, it can be hard to find the right people to surround yourself with when you don't really know where to start. So I started listening to Warren Buffett, and because that's the only person I could think of. I was like, who are the most successful people in the world? Okay, Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, and I love old people, so I just automatically lean towards Warren Buffett. I really don't know, but I started listening to him, and he started talking about investing, and then from there, just because of the fact that I was constantly thinking and immersing myself in the world of business and in expanding my mindset just by listening to one person, opportunities started to come my way. So I believe that if you just go out there and you start looking, it'll find you. So when I was introduced to the world of online business, I realized that I could utilize social media and other platforms to be able to grow something around my schedule without taking away from school, without taking away from my jobs, and that's exactly what I did. So now 2.5 years later, I've been able to build my business, and on top of that, be able to invest into other projects that I'm passionate about, and that's where the Millennial Wayve comes into play, because the Millennial Wayve is a podcast that I started in August, and the main reason was to be a voice for the millennial generation, which I believe is one of the most controversial generations yet. And I know
100%.
I knew that when I was getting started, there was so much I didn't know and that I've learned, and that I still have more to learn. But having that mindset and being able to share with other people is so important to me, because you won't understand and believe the type of people that I went to school with, or that are even my friends, or people that just don't know what they want. It's because they don't know what they don't know. They don't have the right mindset. They don't have the right platform. They don't have the right people around them, and I wanted to be able to create an outlet and a platform where they can listen to that, and they can do that, and they can immerse themselves the way that I was able to immerse myself, and I can help them cut their learning curve in half by just telling them the mistakes that I've made and that other people have made along their journey. So that's kind of how it started. That's where I'm at right now. But yeah, I'm excited to be on the show. I'm really happy that Kyra messaged me, she reached out to me, and she invited me to be on the channel. You guys definitely are in good hands. She's a very, very hard worker from what I can tell, and she really, really is putting in a lot of effort into this. She was early, she was like, she had it all planned out, she has questions, like, it's great. So yes. Thank you for having me on, I'm really excited.
And if any of you guys don't know, Kira, that's my middle name. Yeah, no, you're totally fine. But I wanted to go back for a moment, because you talked about how a lot of people didn't have the same mindset as you, and you grew up in a household where people didn't really understand that you kind of thought differently and you wanted more out of life. And I feel like a lot of people might be in that boat where they're kind of unsure of what to do. And I saw on your website that you're a college dropout, and I am too. And that's not to say that that's right or wrong, because there's amazing things that you can do with either path that you decide to take. But when I dropped out, I decided to pursue health coaching and get my license in health coaching and fully immerse myself in creating my own online business and having my own clientele. what would you say to people who might be feeling a little bit confused and, you know, their parents are saying one thing and their peers are saying another thing? They have these ideas in their head and they're kind of just stuck. That age when you're maybe still in school, you haven't exactly seen the world. What would you say about that?
I would say that thinking about it and pondering it and listening to others' opinions isn't going to do anything. It's just going to keep you stagnant. If I were you, I would do exactly what I did, and I would just go and I would learn. I would go on YouTube. We live in a time where we have access to so many things, so much knowledge, so many resources, and for you to not take advantage of that is almost naive because of the fact that we have access to so many things. So, like I said, my parents were against me dropping out. My dad still to this day is always like, Rachel, go back to school. I'll even help you out. I'll help you out to the best of my ability. My dad isn't rich. My dad doesn't make a lot of money, but
that rich dad, poor dad stuff.
Yeah, and it's one of the, he didn't even go to school. You know, he went to a trade school. My mom, same thing, and I just knew like. I had the confidence in myself to know that I'm going to take this to whatever level I believe that I can take it to. And honestly, I knew that school wasn't going to get me to where I wanted to be, even when I started going to school. I just didn't know what the platform was going to be that would get me to where I wanted to go. But I knew that college wasn't that platform. But because I didn't know what I wanted to do, I used college as a way to expand my thoughts. So if you're in college and you're like, oh, I want to drop out, but yet you don't have a reason to drop out, you have nothing else that you're doing, and if you drop out, you're just going to be there. You still won't know what you want to do. You still won't have another platform to go off of and, you know, put your work ethic and your ambitions onto that path. If you don't have anything, stay in school, you know, keep your job, things like that. Because if you're just dropping out because of the fact that, oh, you're fed up with school, oh, you're tired of it, oh, it's just not for you, then what are you dropping out for? You're dropping out for nothing. You have nothing else on the side to pursue and to go after. So until you have that, you need to like stay where you are, but explore your options. And when you realize and you're 100% sure and you're not doing things out of excitement or, you know, adrenaline, and you take the time to think and actually think clearly about what you want to do, then, you know, that's when that time comes where you can ponder things, where you can, you know, look at your options and see which one is best for you, not for your parents, not for your friends, not for anything else, but for you, because at the end of the day, it's your life. No one else is going to live it better than you will. So,
and I think that's so important to have a plan. If you're unsure about what you want to do, but let's say you do want to drop out of school because you know that that's not your calling, but you don't know what you want to do or how you're going to begin to do it, yes, stay in school and start taking classes that might intrigue you and something different, so you can kind of like develop new skill sets and figure out sort of what path you might want to take. It's all about knowledge and just increasing your knowledge in one form or another. Like, I know for me, I'm a total YouTube nerd, and so I'll like nerd out on science videos on YouTube, and I'll listen to a ton of podcasts just to spark new ideas into my mind. So that was a really good point that you brought up, and all of this is great. And I wanted to ask you, what strong mindset shifts have you had to make in order to make what you wanted in life to happen, and in order to start a business? Because I know in the podcast episode that I listened to from you, you talked about if you want to buy a Lamborghini and you don't have one right now, and you stay with the same like mindset you have now, you're still not going to have a Lamborghini, or you would have had it. You would have had all the tools in place to have the Lamborghini. So I know for me, this has to do with something that Tony Robbins said. He said, knowledge isn't power, knowledge is the potential for power. So for me, I had to do a lot of learning and gaining knowledge, and that was way before I even knew what I wanted. So what are some really big mindset shifts you had to make? Like believing that you can, that one's huge.
Yeah. Biggest mindset shifts, the first one was, there's a lot, but this isn't in any specific order, but one of the most important ones I have learned is give more than you take. And if you want to get to a certain level, you have to help a lot of people within the process. You definitely can't do it alone. It takes a whole group of people, it takes a team, and it takes others. So giving more than you take is a concept where I would say, like, for example, what is she doing? She's giving value, she's giving content, she's giving knowledge, and it's your choice to either take in that knowledge and apply it, or just exit out of the video now and say whatever, fuck the, can I cuss?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Yeah, no, that's fine, that's
okay,
fine.
Sorry. Fuck this, right? But giving more than you take. It actually took me over a year to actually learn this, because for the longest, I do care about people. I believe that I have a very big heart and that I want to see other people win. But when I say, if I was having a conversation with someone, I would only want it to end up in my benefit. And I knew that. And I feel like the reason why I might have lost business, or I may have gotten no's, and no's are inevitable. It's going to happen depending on what you do. I mean, it doesn't matter.
You can get a million no's, but all you need is one yes, and you're a success story.
Yeah. So, anyway, just being able to give more than you take. And I know that sometimes it feels like, oh, when is my time going to come? When am I going to, create this success? But if you stay true to your morals and values, I believe that you can have whatever you want. You help enough people get what they want, you can have whatever you want in life, and that's just the reality. Another mindset shift that I had to make was to keep my word. And people, if you know me, you know that that's my number one pet peeve. If you flake, if you break your word, if you don't do what you said you were going to do, I automatically no longer respect you, period, point blank. Because for the longest time, I would do that. I would lie, I would break my word, I would skip out on things just because of the fact that I didn't want to do it, even though it could have benefited someone. So always do what you say you're going to do, whether or not it's in your best interest or not. You know what I mean? Like, just do what you said you were going to do. Because I actually talked to a gentleman who was, I believe, he was in the obviously the business consulting field, but before he became his own business consultant, he would go into businesses through another company, not his own. He would go into businesses and he would help them scale, right? And he was still working for a company. He was an employee, but he was making great money. Sooner or later, he wanted to go and do his own thing. He wanted to be his own business consultant. He wanted to be basically an independent contractor, self-employed. So he went off and he did that. Now, because of the fact that he didn't screw people over, because of the fact that he provided great value, great service, he always did his best to help someone to the best of his ability. He was able to keep those clients that he originally had and create success within the business consulting field, because it's very hard to go out on your own and figure it all out. But because of the fact that he always kept his word, because he had integrity, because he did things the right way, he was able to take the success that he had in the company that he was a part of and go and do his own thing and create even more success than he could have imagined. So that's what I would say. Keeping your word, obviously having integrity, giving more than you take, and so much more. I mean, you'll really learn along your journey, but I think the biggest thing that most people need to get is clarity. So I can talk about that in a second, but I want to hear your next question.
And guys, the journey to creating the life that you want, that's just it. It's a journey, not a destination. So we're constantly evolving humans, and we're all so individual, and we always want to reach new heights and strive for greater things. So if you're not enjoying the journey and the process, then there's really no point, because there really never is an end if you think about it. You know what I mean? So make those connections, keep your word, and give value. You should enjoy giving value. Seeing a smile on someone's face, I guess I can only speak for myself and anybody else who agrees, but that makes me so happy, just knowing that I am out here trying to change the world and change lives, and surrounding yourself with like-minded people too. Like, it really inspires you. So what is one thing or a couple things that you would say or advice that you would give to anybody who maybe wants to start their own business or really wants to learn how to push their boundaries and step outside of their comfort zone in order to do so? Maybe they have their own self-limiting beliefs, or maybe something's just holding them back. What could you tell them to make them feel a little bit more confident about themselves into taking that leap into the world of entrepreneurship, or just anything in life that you want to make happen?
Cool. So I actually was listening to this interview quite a while ago, probably like a year ago, and this guy, his name's Gerard Adams, he was the co-founder of Elite Daily, which is, they sold it for like 50 million. I mean, young guy, I don't even think he's 30 yet, but very, very successful. He was interviewing this guy named Peter Voog, who's also very successful, both very young, and I believe they're in their 20s. I know Peter is, but I actually went to a mastermind with Peter. That shit was awesome. Anyway, so Gerard said, hey, like, you wrote this book called 6 Months to Six Figures. What was the number one step that you had to take to make those 6 figures in 6 months? And I'm thinking to myself, before he answers, I'm like, a strategy, duh. Like, he has to have a business strategy, of course, right? And he didn't say that. He said, I had to gain clarity. And that's why I pressed so hard about clarity. Like, knowing who you are right now? What do you stand for? What do you believe in? What is your mindset? And be honest with yourself. Ask people around you what they think of you, and tell them to be honest, and let them be honest, and don't take it the wrong way if they tell you that you're a flake and that you're a piece of shit, like whatever, you know? Because that's okay, because that's who you are right now. And then who you're not. Maybe you're not a liar. Maybe you're not a flake. Maybe you're not lazy. You're ambitious. You just don't know what you want. Okay? What are you not? And then what do you want to become? Who do you want to be? Do you want to be big in philanthropy like Oprah? Do you want to travel the world? Do you want to be someone that gives back to your community? Do you want to be a huge business owner? Do you want to be a CEO? Do you still want to be an employee and make great money, but do it in a way where you're at a successful company and you're secure and you have benefits and all that shit, right? What do you want to become? So gaining clarity is the biggest thing. Is if you don't know who you are, if you don't know what you want, even if you don't know what platform it is yet, even if you don't know what your field or your niche is going to be, just know what you want, because any platform can get you to any destination. All the platforms, I'm not going to say they're the same, but they can have the same result if you do it the right way, if you become the best at that thing. So figuring out first clarity.
Guys, and any of these tips are going to be exactly what you make of them, and what you want to get out of them is entirely up to you. So what she's saying about getting clear on your goals, don't just think about them. Sit there and write them down on paper. No one's going to judge you, and even if they do, when you're thriving and you're actually creating the life that you want for yourself, people are going to look up to you and they're going to aspire to be like you, and you're going to be a big inspiration to people. So actually write them down. And yes, there's a million different ways that you can put yourself out there, but try something. My mentor always says, the faster you try something, the faster you fail, and the faster you fail, the faster you succeed. So, are you gonna fail? Yes, but if you don't put yourself out there and try, then you're a failure by default, because you don't even try, and that's where a majority of people lie. So, take everything with a grain of salt, but actually apply it. Actually have a physical, tangible thing that you can hold and keep by your desk, and then put yourself out there in one way or another. So, continue what you're saying.
And you said, what are some things that they can do to start a business, right?
Yeah.
Or to go after what you want. Find different platforms. Don't just think, oh, drop shipping is hot right now, Bitcoin is hot right now, real estate is hot right now, real estate is hot, whatever, real estate's the best. Sorry, I'm not against real estate. I just think, anyway, I'm not even gonna say anything. Anyway, figure out maybe what you want, right? If you enjoy creating animation, then why are you going into real estate, right? I mean, it's a platform, yes, to get you to what you want, but why do you think you can't be successful with animation and get to the level that you're after? That's why we have YouTube, right? You can make tutorials, you can make videos. That's why I'm saying, like, figure out the different platforms.
There's a demand for everything in any field. So.
Yeah, of course. Like I said, online marketing, like whatever it may be that you're clear, like getting clear on yourself, and then looking for different platforms that you can see yourself doing and actually see yourself doing for the long term. Now, of course, you're going to experiment, you're going to try different things, you're going to fail, but testing different things, but not stopping when you meet the first failure. This is I think this is one of the hardest things for people to understand, because a lot of people would do something, and then when they run into a couple failures, they say, oh, it's not for me. Well, you really don't know if it's not for you, because you haven't stuck it out long enough to realize that. For me, I actually was doing something for quite a while, and I still do, and I started making more money with my job. Like, I started making good money, okay? Like, money where I can invest into the other passions that I originally wanted to do with another platform. And I realized, I can invest into all these other things that I'm passionate about. So maybe what I was doing before wasn't a fit for me. I just needed the money to be able to invest into what I really want, right? So I hope that makes sense. I hope that you guys kind of get what I'm saying. First thing is clarity. Second thing is always the platform. If you have ambition, if you have work ethic, if you have energy, apply that into the platform. And once you find the platform, find the most successful people in it. Find the people that are on their way to the top. Those people are usually, you can access them, right? Maybe the people at the top won't respond. Maybe they won't see you. Maybe they won't know you yet. They can in the future, if that's for sure. But find the people that are on their way there, and just try your best to surround yourself with them. Like, do whatever you possibly can to get a hold of them, bother them, whatever. And even if you have to message them every day, whatever, who cares? Like, they're gonna respect the hustle, right? And if it's out of good intention, of course. If you want something from them, then clearly that's might not work. But if you're coming with value and you're saying, hey, you know, I'm a young aspiring entrepreneur. I've been watching you for a while, but I want to be in the same niche as you. I've done this, this, and that. Just want to say thank you for everything that you do. If you're ever open to having a conversation, I'd love to sit down. If not, it's all good. Like things like that, you know what I mean? Like how she reached out to me. We're probably not in the same field, but we have similar ambitions, we have similar goals, and those are the type of people you should definitely surround yourself with. So what I would say is clarity, platform, surrounding yourself with the right people. Those are like probably, to me, the most important things that have helped me get to where I am. So that's what I'm saying.
And guys, there's so many ways to do this. Not one is right or wrong, but it's up to you to experiment with it. And so don't be overwhelmed with all the information that you just heard, but start with just what she said and getting clear on your goals and writing them down and build upon that. And another really important thing that she just mentioned is to surround yourself with like-minded people. So I'm pretty new to the Sacramento area, and yeah, I've only been here since July.
Oh wait, I think you told me that, didn't you?
Did I?
Where'd you move from?
Santa Rosa.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so, but even before I lived here, there really wasn't people who kind of understood what I wanted to do with my life and my time, and people kind of were like, whatever, you're just you kind of thing. At least that's the vibe that I got. But just being here with her today, it's really inspired me to want to do more. All you have to do is just reach those new milestones. So set dates for yourself and accomplish something, and reflect on what you've accomplished that day, and then just keep building up. Eventually you'll start to build your own community, and you know, baby steps. So I guess that's the point I'm trying to make here. So I wanted to thank you so much for letting me interview you today. I know that everybody's going to find it so valuable. I know I found it valuable for myself. Do you want to let people know how they can follow you or check out you online?
Yeah, of course. The main place where you can really find me is my Instagram, because from there it's just a hub for all my other stuff, like my website, my YouTube, and my podcast. So it's all in the link on my bio. My @name is Rachel Kayleen, but it's Rachel spelled R-double-A, because the actual name Rachel Kayleen was taken. I should like message the girl like, hey, can I get that name? Like, you know, whatever.
Yeah.
But anyway, R-double-A-C-H-E-L-K-A-Y-L-E-E-N. That's me, and you can find me on there. We can talk, we can connect, and you can find all the other resources to help you grow whatever it is that you're doing as well. So thank you.
All right. Thank you guys so much. If you like the information that you saw right now, then be sure to subscribe to my channel, and there's going to be a lot more content to come. And make sure to tune in starting next Wednesday, because we're going to do a new series all about binge eating, and that's something that's very near and dear to my heart. So every Wednesday, starting next Wednesday, we're going to build upon each video and talk about all different things relating to binge eating. I'll talk more about that below as well. You can also download my ebook at my website, thegoldlife.net. And other than that, I'll talk to you guys later. Bye.
Bye. Creative, yeah.
My boyfriend got me a microphone, like one that sits on your desk for like podcasts, and for Christmas, and I'm like, wow, this is so cool, thank you. I don't do podcasts, but thank you, because I want to one day. But I'm so ambitious and excited to do so many things that I'm like, okay, I really need to focus on one, because you probably know Gary Vaynerchuk. He's like, don't be half pregnant at like 17 things, you know? So I was like, let's do a blog, let's do YouTube, let's do like live streams every week. But then I'm like, no, okay, what do I really want to do right now? And it was YouTube. So that's kind of where I'm focusing my energy, and then eventually I'll want to like branch off and do a vlog. But